seller appointments and how to convert them into actual contracts. So we're going to cover all that. We're going to cover all the mistakes. We're going to cover why it is that you leave a seller appointment without a contract. I know it's silly. It's crazy, but we do it. I mean, I have students right now that I coach them through like exactly what to say to the seller, everything what to do in the appointment, and then they call me back. They're like, "Hey, the seller wants to sell, but I didn't have any contracts with me." Right? So we're going to cover all that in this training. First thing I want to cover when you are attending a seller appointment is we have to address the mindset that goes into a successful seller appointment. And that mindset is, I will not leave this appointment without a contract. All right. So what does that mean? How are you even starting it with this mindset? Is that you cannot be going to an appointment thinking that it's like, all right, look, I'm just going to look at the house. I'm going to talk to the seller and then I'm just going to leave and I'll tell them I'll run my numbers once I get back to the office. Because what that's doing, it's setting you up to never get that property under contract. And it sucks. I mean, the whole point of you going to that appointment is to get a deal done. But if you have that fear and that, hesitation to lock up the contract, then I promise you're not going to get as many deals as you think. Sellers, the way you got to look at it is when you speak to sellers, you're building rapport. You're building trust and likability. They're getting to know who you are. They're getting to know, what it is that you're about, how it is that you can help them. So this is kind of like a movie, right? You pretend that you're going to the movies. You're watching a movie. It's getting to the good part. And then they say, all right, that's it, guys. Come back next week for the final part of the movie. And you're like, what the hell just happened? Right? Like, I don't even know what's going on. Is this person going to die? Are they going to save? Are they going to get back together? What's going on? I'm so confused. Right? So now you got to wait. And what happens is by the time that movie starts back up, let's say in a week or so, you kind of forgot a lot of the things that made you kind of fall in love with the movie in the first place. I hope that analogy lands a little bit. So with the seller, it's the same thing. You are having this movie that you're playing with them, and you're building this rapport. You're building this trust, this likability with them. They're feeling comfortable with you, as they should. I mean, you got to understand with a seller, you're not buying a couch or a table. You're buying a home. You're buying their home, right? Even if it's an investment property, there's sometimes with investors, like especially when they own a few properties, that might be a house that they grew up in and they just kept it as a rental. So it's a big investment. It's a big purchase. Trust is a massive part of this. So if you are already doing all of this work to build the trust, to build the likability, to do all this, you can't just leave. You understand? You got to be willing to follow through. So the mindset of this is, I will not leave without a contract. When you have that mindset, what ends up happening is, regardless of the objections the sellers give you, you're always going to ask questions and poke a little deeper to get that contract. But if you go into a deal, if you go into an appointment saying, I'm just going to walk away and run my numbers later, you will never ask the questions that are stopping this seller from committing with you. And here's what's going to happen. I promise you this is going to happen because it happens all the time. Is you warm them up, you got them all excited, you got them ready to sell, you leave, I show up behind you and get that property on the contract because you did all the work for me. You understand? You got them all hot and bothered, ready to sell, but you didn't close. So this is something that, I mean, it's not just you. Don't feel bad about it. I coach a lot of people and they all start doing the same thing. And what a surprise is their deal flow goes up tremendously when they start changing their mindset and saying, I will not leave this house without a contract. All right. Now, this does not mean that you got to be forceful or you got to be, trying to like create a deal out of nowhere where there isn't a deal. No. This is just a mindset. If there's a deal to be had, it's yours. All right. Now, The only time you're going to leave a house without a contract is when there's really no deal there to be had. And if there's no deal there, chances are you did a bad job prior to the appointment. You didn't do a good job vetting the lead, asking the motivating questions, digging deeper into why do they need to sell versus why do they want to sell. All right. So you want to make sure that when you are having this pre-call, this is why, like, the method that I teach you guys, it's so much less work. Like, people say, how the hell can I do this in 3 to 4 hours a day? It's because I'm not teaching you how to waste time going to appointments that are never going to amount to anything. Or you're going to an appointment to make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 wholesale fee. Like, what the hell are you doing? That is a tremendous waste of time. You understand? Like, that, it doesn't move the needle in any direction. So what I teach you to do is how to vet the call properly over the phone first to determine what is the real motivation, what is the real pain points, what is the solution to their problem. Once you nail down the solution to their problem and you're like, I know exactly what it is, the offer and the contract are the easiest things you guys are going to ever have to go through. And I promise you on this, making an offer and getting a contract become nothing when you're able to solve the problem correctly. All right. So now the next thing, that's the mindset. And we're going to go into the appointment. I'm just, without that mindset of, hey, I am not leaving this house without a contract, I promise you, you will never get a contract. All right. So if you're enjoying this training, make sure to give me a thumbs up and drop any questions in the chat. I will get to all the questions live right after the training. So make sure if you're watching live, just drop the questions. Now, you're making your way to the appointment. Contracts in the car, right? At least a few contracts. I keep, in every vehicle I have a stack of at least 5 contracts. All right. I always have contracts ready to go. At least the purchase and sell agreement. I know, depending on what you're going to do, you might need separate other agreements, but at least with the purchase and sell agreement, you lock up the deal. That's in the car. Make sure you have a tape measure, your camera, a flashlight. If you're in San Antonio or anywhere where there's massive foundation issues are very common, we got this nice little square laser level that we use. It's in my truck. I forgot to bring it up. But you get it at Home Depot. It's, I think, like 120, 150, around there. It's a nice little laser level. You just put it down. You see how wonky the floor may be. All right. So this is a good way to just kind of determine, is there foundation problems or not? So you got all that loaded up in your car, head to the property. Before you head to the property, I always call the owner and tell him, like, hey, I'm on my way. Just letting you know I'm about 20 minutes out. Why? Because, again, if you don't have my training, you probably didn't do the prior work correctly. So there's a good chance you're going to get stood up if you didn't build enough trust with these sellers. So call in advance. If they're not answering the phone or anything like that, I don't leave my house. You understand? I'm not leaving my office to go to a house where the seller's not even responding to me. So I call, text, I blow up their phone, making sure they get a hold of me. You know, I get a hold of them before I head out, because you don't want to take that whole trip out there and everything, wait and just get blown off, and it just ruins the rest of your day. So we do that. We get to the property. The biggest thing we want to focus on is pictures. On a 1,000 square foot home, you should have no less than 50 to 75 pictures. You say, Jesus, what are you taking so many pictures of? You're taking pictures of absolutely everything. Because if you are not buying this house and you want to wholesale it, those pictures are going to help you qualify a buyer much faster and not needing to set multiple appointments and annoying the hell out of the seller. All right. So we want to take pictures. You pull up to the house, you take a picture of the front of the house, take a picture up and down the street, across the street, so they see kind of what the neighborhood looks like. Right? These are very helpful things. As you walk into the house, keep taking pictures. Take pictures of the roof, if you can see the roof from there. Because what we're trying to see, what's the condition of the roof? Fascia, any wood rot, any cracked bricks, any broken windows, anything you see, pictures. All right? You walk in the house, introduce yourself to the seller. Obviously, you thank them. Thank you so much for giving me this time. I'm so excited after talking to you and having this conversation that we had. You know, I'm excited to help you get through this. You know, I'm so happy that we're going to be able to help you, because I know this is going to work out perfectly for both of us. You have X, Y, and Z problems, And what we're going to do is actually help you solve all that and get you to where you need to be. Where's that destination look like? And we've gone through this in other trainings about how to speak to sellers and how to do that. This is why the pre-call, that conversation is so crucial, because you teed it all up for this appointment, right? So now the appointment is the easiest thing. The appointment, you already have so much trust and knowledge and everything built with them that it's simple to just go ahead and get it done. So we're in the house, and you ask them, be like, very politely, hey, do you mind if I just take a few pictures? Because this way, when I get back, I can kind of just review and make some notes about it. Yeah. Everybody says yes, right? Because again, you built the trust and the likability, so there's no issue. As you walk through the house, you take pictures of every single room. All right. I don't care what your opinion is about the room. You're going to take a picture of every room. Even if you're like, it's a basic room, you take a picture of it. And the way you take pictures of rooms, you stand in one corner, you take a picture facing the other way. You want to capture floors, ceiling, walls, everything. Then go to the opposite corner, take a picture this way. You should be able to see the whole room in every single picture, right? I should be able to see everything. There shouldn't be an area of the room that I do not see. Because this, again, if you're going to wholesale, this is going to be so useful for your buyers. That's pictures. I don't do videos. Videos suck. They piss me off. Every time somebody sends me a video, I don't even look at the property. I'm like, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm not even going to look at it. Because the video, by the time you get into a room, the light adjusts, all these things. I'm not seeing the corner. You're moving too fast because you're filming whatever the hell you think you need to film. You know, I'm trying to pause. It's blurry. I'm trying to pause again just to see the area. I'm trying to zoom in. It's a pain in the butt to see a video. I don't care for videos, all right? Pictures, I can fly through them in 2 seconds and really understand what the house is, stop on the pictures that I want to look at, right? Now, I don't know if that's a personal opinion or not. It's just what works. So pictures, you're going through the whole house. You're taking pictures of every room. Any bathroom, kitchens, anything like that, you take pictures underneath the sinks, all right? Because what we want to see is, has there been any leaks? Because sometimes you look at a kitchen cabinets or something, and they're like, you know, they're a little dated, but they're okay. Maybe we can resurface them or even just leave them, depending on the area. But if the sink base is rotted through, there's really no saving the cabinets, and that matters. Or if they did a hack job doing a new P-trap or anything like that under the sink, that matters. Now you say, John, I don't understand plumbing or anything. You don't need to. Take a picture of it. Because whoever you're going to wholesale it to, they should know about it. So they're going to see if that's a red flag or not. Bathrooms, take pictures of the shower. For goodness sakes, take pictures of the showers. Everybody, the shower curtain's closed. I don't know, you feel weird opening the shower curtain. I don't know what it is, but open it up. Because if you open that up and we see tiles missing, tremendous mold, holes in the ceiling, holes in the shower, we need to know that as buyers. You know, am I redoing the whole bathroom or am I retiling the shower? What do I need to do? I need to understand that as a buyer. You take pictures of everything. There's no such thing as too many pictures. All right. So you take picture of all the bedrooms, you take picture of the kitchens, all the rooms in all directions. You take picture of the electrical panel, right? Because depending here in San Antonio, we still have some really old houses that have that knob electrical. We need to know this. Where is the electrical box? Is it somewhere awkward or is it put away somewhere nicely? Because we might have to move it if it's a high-end home. We need to know this. Where's the electrical panel? Right? Then you go into the garage, wherever they have the water heater, take a picture of the water heater. Every water heater has a little plaque on it that says the manufacturer date. Take a picture of that just so we know. But pull out, take a picture of the whole thing. I want to see the setup. Sometimes the homeowner did it. They just left it sitting on the floor. It doesn't meet inspections. We're going to have an issue with that. So I need to understand where's the water heater. Take pictures of the garage. Like I said, the electrical panel, all those things. The HVAC unit, if you're in St. Louis, the furnace, all these things, any ductwork that's exposed, you want to look at it. And then that's the interior of the house. Right there, I mean, you should have a ton of pictures, right? And now you go to the exterior. When you're in the exterior of the house, you're taking a picture of the whole yard. So many people ignore the yards because we all look at the house. But here's the thing is we did the same thing when we started. We bought a house. We ignored the yard. Ended up costing us an extra $6 or $7 grand in landscaping costs because we didn't pay attention to the yard. And some of those trees were just falling down. And we needed to clean all that up. We needed to repair the fence. It was just a pain in the butt and then $6,000 extra that we did not account for. So take pictures of the yard, of the fence, any sheds, take pictures, because even though it's a shed, if it's a death trap, we're going to have to tear that down, right? Or we might have to replace it. We don't know. We got to see what the comps say. Take a picture of all those things. Go to the end of the yard, take a picture of the house. Take a picture of the sides of the house, all right? There's an exterior AC unit, the condenser unit. Go to the condenser unit where the hoses are coming out. There's a little plaque there. That's the manufacturer. Take a picture of that. That's going to tell me how old that AC unit is. All right. I need to know that as a buyer. Nobody does this. The only people that do this are the people that have been trained by us, because everybody else that hasn't, they never send a picture of this. They just send the picture far away from the AC. There's the AC. Well, what the hell does that mean to me? Right? I need to know if it works or not. I need to know how old it is. You got pictures. Awesome. This is going to be crucial when we get to the disposition area of selling houses quickly. This is why, again, a lot of people take forever to sell houses, and why they have a million, appointments they got to set with buyers, because they weren't clear enough when they got the property on the contract. So you get pictures, you get all those things. Now we get to move on to actually locking up the deal, right? The pictures have nothing to do, and the condition of the house has nothing to do with locking up the deal. What has to do with locking up the deal is the seller's need. If the seller has to have a need to sell their home. If they don't have a need to sell the home, you're never going to get enough of a discount to make the home a good deal for you. It's just never going to make sense. You understand? They need to sell. There either needs to be enough pain or enough pleasure they're going to get from selling this house, whatever that is. And we want to reassure, we want to go deep into that pain, into that need that they have to sell the home. And what we do is we want to emphasize whatever that pain is. So just to be clear, Mr. Seller, you're having these issues. And I mean, how amazing would it be, right? Like, you sell this house, you're going to get this amount of cash in your pockets, and we're going to get it done, right? You're going to be able to be done with everything. We'll take care of all these things. Yes, I would love that. You got to restate. It's never really about the price. Whenever I hear people say, I had a student recently that he reached out to me, and he's like, it was through like email, but he was saying, submitting an offer of 172, and this is this is what we need, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. You never submit an offer with what it is that you need, because they don't care about you. What you're going to do is submit an offer with what it's going to do for them. So like I said, Mr. Seller, we're going to take care of everything. Once you sign, we're going to get these docs over to title. Always docs, never contracts or agreements. Contracts or agreement trigger people to feel like they need to get an attorney to review them, right? So it feels very official. It feels like, crap, this is an agreement. This is a contract. These are just docs. These are just simple docs that we need filled out so we can get it over to title so we can get you paid, right? Once you fill this out, we're going to get it over to title, going to get everything sorted out. And hopefully, by the time everything is done, we'll close in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you guys determine on, and you'll be done. You'll get the money in your account, and you'll be absolutely done with everything. So here's the paperwork. Here are the docs. Here's the information. Just initial down here, right? It goes that fast. Like, it's really that fast. I never ask for their opinion. I never ask for what they think, what's going on. Does this work? Does this make sense? Never ask for any of those things, because then you force them to want to answer you in a way like, well, does this make sense? In their head, it's like, well, I don't know. I didn't think about if it made sense or not. So let me think about it. Let me get back to you. So that's the things that we don't want to do, because you're just confusing them for no reason. You're making them think through things that they didn't want to think through. Like, you're the pro. You're there for a reason. So whatever you say goes. So how you say it matters. If you submit your offer, if you submit a contract with concern or doubt, they're going to feel that concern or doubt, and they're not going to sign. They're not going to feel secure. They're not going to feel confident. They're going to feed off of your confidence and your security on this deal. So when you submit an offer, you have to submit it with that confidence and that reassurance, right? So here's a good example of how we did this recently. We have a property, they're going in foreclosure. They're like, look, we just want to stop the foreclosure. We don't even know what we can get out of this house. They have no idea, right? They just wanted to stop the foreclosure and get something out of it. That's all they wanted. So we ran our numbers. We ran everything. We looked at it. We want the house. So we went back to them, and this is how the offer was submitted. It's like, I got great news for you guys. Look, I talked to my attorney, got the ball rolling. We're going to go ahead and stop the foreclosure. We're going to take care of all that. Don't even worry about that. We got that. Our attorney's on it. We're going to take care of all that. But here's the great part, is that on top of this, we can even put an extra $5,000 in each of your pockets. They're brothers, right? In each of your pockets, $5,000. You know, I'm very excited about this. So right here in these documents, I just need you both to initial down here. Next page, initial down here. Walk them through it. Got the whole thing locked up. All right, cool. As soon as I get this over to my attorney, I'm going to give you a call, let you know what the process is of stopping this foreclosure. But you guys are good to go. And as soon as we get the closing done, you'll each get the $5,000 in your pockets. Sounds good? That was it. We were already on the contract by the time I said sounds good. That's it. Like, it's not that hard. You understand? But like, when I'm doubtful and I'm fearful and I'm worried and I'm like, I don't know, what do you think? I talked to my team and maybe we can each get you $5,000 in your pocket. How's that sound? No. How does that sound? It sounds like I want more. That's how it sounds, right? Like, it's a dumb question to ask. So don't ask it, because it sets you up to not get the deal done. And then another thing when we submit offers is we never talk about the full price. So in this case, it was going to be, I think, total of like $67,000, right? Between what they owe and the $10,000 that we were going to go. If I say $67,000 and in their head they had $80,000 for whatever reason, right? Because they thought it was going to take $80,000 to solve this problem, we're way off. But if I tell them instead, hey, we're going to take care of the mortgage, we're going to take care of the foreclosure, and we're going to put $10,000 in your pocket. Yeah, that sounds great. Well, I can actually get that done for 67, not 80. You understand? But if I would have said we can get all this done for 67, man, we really need 80. Because sellers don't understand how expensive it is. To them, it's going to be a fortune to get this all resolved. They don't know that, right? It's up to you to submit that offer with that level of conviction and confidence. When you do it that way, I promise you will lock up so many more contracts. Now, there's objections and all that, and I'm going to do a video on just objections because, I mean, my goodness, are there objections, right? There's a ton of objections all day long. Like, especially if they're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that sounds good, but I need to speak to my wife or my husband. First of all, you shouldn't have had that appointment without all the parties that needed to make the decision present. You understand? Like, you can't. It's just silly. It's a waste of your time. You got to make sure everybody's present. But here's what we do. And this is a very golden nugget for you guys, so make sure you're listening. You say, okay, look, let's do this. Just because we can't really waste any time because of, whatever the situation or because of the market, there's always a reason why we can't waste time. It doesn't even matter if the house is in foreclosure or not. There's always a reason why we cannot waste time. It's like, look, here's what we're going to do. Let's do this. You have this problem, right? And we do this, it's going to solve that problem. And you're going to be good to go, right? Yes, cool. Let's fill out the docs. Let's get everything ready and talk to your spouse. Talk to your brother. Talk to your sister. Talk to whoever. I'm going to hold on to this. You talk to them. You call me tomorrow morning and you tell me, hey, listen, this happened. They don't want it. I'll rip it right up. No worries. But at least this way, if you call me, you're like, yes, they're fine with it. Everything's good. We're excited. We're ready to get it going. I have everything. I could just run it over the title real quick and get it going. That's it. You walked away with a contract. Because a lot of times what it is the commitment that they struggle with. But once they sign those documents, in their mind, this is resolved. So even if they do need to talk to somebody else, that conversation goes more like, hey, we have to do this. We need, like, what else are we going to do? You understand? And the amount of people that have called me back and told me the next day, like, listen, no, we're not going to do this. The amount of people that have done that for us is this many. Absolutely nobody. Instead, they call me back excited. yeah, we're so excited, we're ready to go. Most of them call me back that it's the same evening, like an hour later, like, just go ahead and send the title. Let's just get this done. I'm done with all this. I don't want to keep fighting. I don't want to keep delaying this. All of that. Awesome. Let's go ahead and do this. Don't walk out without a contract. There's never a reason to walk out without a contract if it's a deal. All right. If it's not a deal, we addressed it. You shouldn't be there in the first place. But if it's a deal, you should not be walking out without a contract. And this is why a part of like my mastermind, one of the biggest things I do is call reviews and deal reviews, because you send me your calls, your recordings, and I'm telling you, no, you're not ready to set an appointment with this person. We don't know the motivation. We don't know the need. There's not enough pain here. Or like I did recently with another student, I listened to a recording. I was like, bro, set the freaking appointment. How much do you want them to tell you that they're ready to go? Right? So it helps you with that understanding, because I mean, I've spoken to tens of thousands of sellers. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. I've spoken to a lot of people. I've done this for over 12 years, spoken to thousands and thousands of sellers. I know what they're going to say. I know what motivation looks like. You understand? So you get that kind of support from somebody that knows how to hear and understand when there's motivation. It's like, go. This is why I don't do the virtual wholesaling nonsense, because you can never build this kind of rapport virtually. You understand? When I go in person, I'm there with the contract in hand. Very recent example, I have a partner in St. Louis. He showed up to the house. They're like, oh, but we really want 114. He's like, well, look, I'm here right now with this contract for 110. What do you want to do? You want to wait for whoever this imaginary buyer is to come in at some point eventually for 114? Or do you want to sign right now for 110? Guess what? They signed. Because that 114 virtual person, where's their contract? Oh, I emailed it to them. Good luck getting that signed anytime soon. You understand? There's a way that if you need to email a contract, we do it so we can get it signed quickly. But again, you got to go in person. I mean, you got to wholesale, you got to flip, you got to invest in your own backyard. Every backyard makes money. Do it in your own backyard. Understand the market. So I hope you guys enjoyed this training. I'm going to get into the questions now. If you have any other questions, anything like that, drop it in the comments. If you're watching the replay on this, make sure you join the Prime Wholesaling Method Facebook group, where you can get access to these live trainings. It's only for the group. But yeah, let's get into the questions. So we got Veronica. Now I don't feel bad that I walk away with 50 or more pictures. 100%. I mean, yeah, we definitely, when we take pictures, we go all out. Like, we definitely take a ton of pictures, because it's just that. Like, when I send it to my buyers, I send them a link of all the pictures. And pretty much what we do is, like, I send them all the pictures, the address, and the price. And with the pictures, any seasoned investor, that's enough information for them to make a decision. Not that I need them to commit. I'm not asking them to commit on pictures. I understand you want to walk the house. I do too. But if I send you enough pictures, and pretty much what I'm asking them is like, look, if the pictures hold true, when you see the house, would you close? Yes. Because what I'm asking is, does the price work? Right? Does the potential repairs work for you? And if all that works for them, that's it. It's a done deal. Because I know when they go see the house, they're not going to see something that I didn't take a picture of. You understand? Like, there's nothing hidden. You understand? Like, everything they go see, it's exactly what was on the pictures. Like, I didn't hide anything. When people send me 10 pictures and say, hey, are you interested in this house? I'm like, bro, you know, and one of the pictures, it's like, one of them recently was like of a dining room table. I was like, are you selling me the dining room table? What's that picture for? You understand? Like, that doesn't help me. I can't make a decision off of that. So you have to be able to make decisions. At least these buyers, at least get their, you know, their word. That's like, yeah, look, I like the price based on the pictures. Everything holds true. I'm a buyer all day long. Awesome. Now I can set an appointment. I don't piss off my sellers. One appointment, get it done. That's why dispo for me is so easy. It takes us 20 minutes to dispo a house, because we have our vetted buyers. That I've done plenty of trainings on how to build your buyers list. We have vetted buyers that I know exactly who's going to want this property. I send them the link. I send them the address. I send them the price. They tell me yes. We set up the appointment. We sign the assignment, and we're done. That simple. It's really not that hard. Jamie, Do you use Google Drive or Dropbox or other systems for photos? I apologize if you said it and I missed it. No need to apologize. We use Google Drive. A great question. So all of the pictures that we take, we create we have a folder with the property address. Then we have a subfolder that just says pictures. The reason we have a subfolder is because in the folder of the property address is where we upload all our contracts and stuff like that. That is not what I want to share with my buyers. So we create a subfolder called pictures. And in that subfolder, we drop all the pictures. We make sure to change the share setting. I mean, it's a silly little thing to say, but everybody makes this mistake. I always have to request access again. But we change the share settings so to make sure that they can actually view the pictures. And then we just send that link. So instead of doing what I've had some people do where they text me like 25 pictures, like, guys, I do not want to see pictures of a house on my phone. And especially on a text message. I'm just like scrolling through, trying to zoom in. Like when I analyze a property that I'm buying, I'm analyzing a property. I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. I need a computer screen. I need to be able to look at it. I need to look at the details because it's going to cost me money to renovate this house, right? So send me a nice link that I can open it up. I can open all of the pictures, all right? And I can look at every single one of these pictures. So yeah, Jamie, we use a Google Drive link for all of our pictures. You can use Dropbox too, I guess. I don't use it. We use Google Drive for all of our whole business. So it's just kind of what we do. Just pick one and make sure you stick with it. Any other questions you guys have right now? I had a guy recently on YouTube ask me about virtual buyers. How do you deal with virtual buyers? And virtual buyers, to me, I mean, I don't even know how serious they can be. I don't know how they handle that part, if they have inspectors or things like that. But just be very cautious when you're dealing with a virtual buyer. And especially if you don't know them, right? So this is why we vet all of our buyers. We vet every single one. Like even if somebody says, yeah, I want to buy that house and I've never met them before, well, first of all, they shouldn't see that I have a house for sale because I send it directly to my buyers. But let's say sometimes I do create dummy ads where I use a house that we recently sold and I put it on social media just to get some bites and see if there's any new buyers. And then I vet them for the next deal. Right? So you can use that strategy. It works very well for us. And in that case, if I do talk to a virtual buyer, so let's say somebody from California or somebody that's just snatching up properties, I'm asking them like, how are you going to analyze this deal? I have a contractor. Who's your contractor? How long have you been working with him? If he says yes, do you buy? How long do you need to analyze? Because what I can't have is them tell me yes. They send their contractor. Their contractor takes forever to run the numbers, put the estimate together, all this. It's been days. I'm not hearing anything back. It's like, no, I need people that can make decisions right now. I don't need buyers that take a week or two to make a damn decision on a house. You understand? Like, I'll give you, if you're not serious, you probably get like 24 hours to make a decision. That's it. I'm not here to play games because I don't want to waste my seller's times. Right? If I need to back out of that deal for whatever reason, which I never do, but if I need to, I want to make sure I'm backing out within like 24 hours of going under contract. I don't want to waste their time. If I'm not a serious buyer, I'm not trying to waste their time. This is why I tell you guys, build your buyers list first. Don't try to get a property on the contract and then find a buyer. I got 6 deals. No, you have 6 contracts. You don't have deals. Until you can close it, you don't have a deal. So you have a buyer that says yes, you do not have a deal. Stop doing that way because that's what's killing your time and it's killing your profits. All right? So make sure that when you're doing all this and you're dealing with virtual buyers, vet them. How long does it take for them to make a decision? How long does it take for them to analyze a property? Who's involved in the decision making? Right? And if it's taking days, then you got to make that determination. They better be a premium freaking buyer. Right? And by premium buyer, I'm talking about somebody that pays like 20 grand more than everybody else. Because then it's like, all right, I'll give you a few extra days if the wholesale fee is going to be that big. But if not, you're not getting the extra days. That's just not going to happen. So, all right. Well, no more questions are coming in. Seems like you guys are all set and you're all good. If you are interested in the mastermind and just want to hop on a strategy call, I'm going to put the link here in the chat that you could just book a call with me and just to see if it's a good fit for both of us. I do check you out. We do hop on a call. I want to see if you're a good fit for it. If you have no experience in real estate, you haven't done deals, or you have silly expectations, you're not going to be welcomed into the mastermind. I like to curate the people that are in there to make sure that you guys are action takers. If you're not going to take action, if you're not going to do the work, you're not going to go in there. I don't like that. Becomes just boring for me. So, but if you're interested, book a call. We'll hop on. The call's free. We'll hop on. I'll check out your business. I'll see if it's a good fit. If we can help you systemize and streamline the acquisition process so you're generating a healthy amount of deals that profit greatly. I mean, I met a bunch of investors when I went to St. Louis recently, and the majority of them are like, yeah, I'm trying to profit between $20,000 to $25,000 a flip. I mean, I don't have hair, but if I did, I would have been pulling it out. Like 25 grand on a flip is nothing. And a flip can go south so fast. Our minimum flips for us are $50,000 to $60,000, and those are very quick in and out flips. Anything higher than that, we're making a lot more money than that. It's not worth the time to do anything. But the only way we can do that is by sourcing our own deals, right? So that's what I teach you guys how to do, is build the systems and the process to source your own deals. So if you're interested, you got the link right there. Book a call. If you're in the prime wholesaling method, pay attention to the next live. I might have to change the dates around a little bit coming up because I am preparing to move to Tennessee. So some of my days are getting a little wonky leading up to the move. But I'll still try to come live once a week and give you some fresh new training. So join the Facebook group. That way, when I put out some polls on new training, stuff like that, you let me know what it is you want to learn about. So with that being said, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for joining me live and being on YouTube instead of Facebook with all their nonsense. And I'll catch you all in the next training.